How's it going out there, everybody? My name is Emir Costello, of course, and I'm on the line with Gregory Canillas, who has a one-man show coming up real soon. Gregory, why don't you tell us what you got going on and how we could find out more about your show?
Hey, Mir. Thanks for having me on your show. My show is a solo piece called The Monkey Chronicles, and it is part of the Son of Assembly Solo Fest, which began last night. My show is actually going to be July 26th through the 29th, and it chronicles two black gay men on the journey of love, infidelity, and eventually forgiveness, and it's told through a blend of poetry and storytelling.
Excellent. So, how many nights is the show going to be?
So actually 4 nights, July 26th through the 29th.
And is there a website that people can go to if they want to purchase tickets?
Absolutely. Folks can go to www.sonofassembly.org. That's www.sonofassembly.org. Tickets are only $15.
So there's the information, ladies and gentlemen, and the link to the website will be at the bottom of this video or in the comment section of this video. If you have more questions, you can reach out to me on any of my social media platforms, and hopefully we will all be able to come out and support Gregory and have a good time at his show. Thank you so much for your time, Gregory Canillas. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on.
What's going on, RWT family? This is Mike Larkin, and welcome to episode 4 of The Future Is Now, where I discuss 205 Live and NXT of the week. And what a week it was. So let's just hop right into it. Alright, let's jump into this week's 205 Live. A very good show, highlighted by the main event of Lio Rush, the man of the hour, the overall man who came to collect, and the man who has a great and bright future ahead of him against Akira Tozawa. But let's start off with a rematch from what we had last week. It's TJP and Noam Dar. TJP comes out and pretty much talks down to the people of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And, him and Noam Dar went at it. It was a great back-and-forth encounter, longer than the 30-second matchup, obviously. Working on the leg, the uppercuts, the shots, the springboard drop kicks. All these guys had hard-hitting maneuvers, and it was just a great sight to see. But in the end, TJP gets the revenge in mind as he makes Noam Dar submit with the knee bar. Just a great matchup. Go out of your way to check it out. And then we take a look back at the Cruiserweight title match between Cedric and Hideo, another great match. Then we come back with Mustafa Ali saying that he's going to continue to fight to become the Cruiserweight champion. And then we saw his great match 2 weeks ago against Buddy Murphy, no disqualification. And then here's a matchup where this was just 3 moves and done. Get in, get out, clear your head. Man, we had Drew Gulak take on Danny Garcia. It was the bell ringing, clothesline, lariat, Saito suplex, Gulak, Dragon Sleeper. Garcia passes out, and Drew Gulak is your winner. Comes on the mic and says Danny Garcia reminds him of Cedric Alexander because when you step to him, you will tap out. Cedric Alexander, look out because Drew Gulak is coming for that Cruiserweight Championship. Then we take a look back at Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese in the whole Lince Dorado match and the whole Lucha House Party exchange there. Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy are interviewed, and then we get the whole, Tony Nese pretty much saying, hey, Kalisto, next week we're going to find out one-on-one what I'm capable of. Lucha Underground, sorry. Lucha House Party is banned from ringside. Lince Dorado and Grand Metalik are banned. Buddy Murphy, Tony Nese told him, hey, don't come down to ringside. Next week we're going to get that rematch. Tony Nese and Kalisto, one-on-one. And man, I've seen what these guys can do. Kalisto's great, as a part of Lucha Dragons, a part of Lucha House Party, not Underground. Cruiserweight division, dude's a great wrestler. Got Tony Nese, as I mentioned last week. Been seeing this dude do his thing since '05. Dude's a tremendous athlete. We got Tony Nese, the premier athlete. Kalisto, next week again, one more time. Let's get it down one-on-one. There must be a winner, decisive winner at that. Then we get to our main event of the evening, Lio Rush, Akira Tozawa. Man, Lio Rush doing his thing, taunting Tozawa, stomping on him. The drop kick, just quickness of Lio Rush, the quickness of Tozawa. Both of these guys did their thing. It was a great first test for Lio Rush because, we've seen him doing his thing against enhancement talents. Last week he's beating Colin Delaney. This week he has a true test in Akira Tozawa, former cruiserweight champion at that, and just an overall hell of an athlete. So Lio Rush and Akira Tozawa did their thing. Tozawa going for that Dick Togo senton. Man, Lio Rush catches him, makes him hit the turnbuckle, goes up top for the final hour, the frog splash. The high-octane frog splash, if you will. 1, 2, 3. Lio Rush gets the victory. Then Drake Maverick's in the back. We find out that Cedric Alexander is going to have his next Cruiserweight Championship matchup against the winner of the Fatal 4-Way number 1 Contenders match. Next week, it's going to be Drew Gulak, Hideo Itami, TJP, and Mustafa Ali. And the winner of that match faces Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight Championship next. I'm looking forward to it. We got Tony Nese and Kalisto as well next week. 205 this week was a solid action, a match that was a matter of seconds with Gulak and Danny Garcia, but it showcased Gulak did what it needed to be. Then we had 2 high-octane matchups with Lio Rush and Akira Tozawa and TJP and Noam Dar. Great stuff, and another great week for 205 Live. Now, let's get into NXT. Alright, now NXT, my goodness, tonight was a hell of an episode. We started off with Lacey Evans and Dakota Kai. These two men, Lacey Evans just working on her with submissions, tying her up, with the tag ropes in the Tree of Woe position, doing that senton. My God. Holy hell, just working our submission, pulling her hair. Lacey Evans, I love the girl. She's a great heel. The first lady of NXT, just a woman who's just rugged and mean, but god dang, you love her because she looks so good. Then you got Dakota Kai, team kick, man. And she, used those kick and her feet to greatness, man. The Yakuza kick in the corner, the face wash, just the whole 9. It was just an amazing matchup from top to bottom, the time that they got. We see the whole face wash thing, Lacey Evans going for the moonsault, missing. Then Dakota, was looking for a running kick, but, she counters, pump handle slam by Lacey Evans, and then boom, avoids the enziguri women's right hand, the women's right. 1, 2, 3, Lacey Evans is your victor. Then she's just taunting Dakota Kai after the matchup, and man, I love this action between these two. I thought these two had a very solid matchup, and it just makes me want to see more of the two. Great athletes. And we get Kathy Kelly interviewing Ricochet. Ricochet pretty much mentions that the Undisputed Era won the tag titles last week. He says he knows they defend their titles, but Adam Cole, baby, doesn't. And the fact of the matter is, he was close to being champion once in that ladder match, and Cole stole a win over him in that 6-man tag just about a week or 2 ago. He won't stop until he gets a shot at Cole and promises to become the North American champion. He ends it with the signature boom from the Undisputed Era. Man, I'm looking forward to Adam Cole and Ricochet for the future North American title on the line. The main event is now a triple threat, not a fatal 4-way, because Bianca Belair is not medically cleared to compete. And next week we get Tommaso Ciampa versus Aleister Black for the NXT title, and we'll get a spoiler alert on that later on. Then we see for first time in a while, we got the Street Profits, man. They're playing basketball, they're shooting around, and then they're training as well at the same time. Then they remember what TM61, now known as the Mighty, did to them, and that they cheated to win. That new attitude of the Mighty, if you will. So now we're going to get, it looks like, TM61, aka the Mighty, versus the Street Profits going forward in some tag team action, playa. Then backstage, EC3 is interviewed after interrupting Velveteen Dream recently. He says that he remembers what Dream did to him at the Royal Albert Hall by walking out on him. And he said then afterwards someone comes up, and gets a picture with him. They take a selfie. EC3 gives away his merch to the next guy he sees. And Kona Reeves, the finest of NXT, is the next person he sees. Kona says he's dressed nicely and he has a nice watch, but none of what he has is the finest. His arrogance costs him, as EC3 tells him he'll get to be the top 1% by beating of a lifetime if he steps at him. And he's telling Kona, hey man, fight me. He says Kona will fight him, but says it's too bad because they could have been friends. So we have an EC3 versus Kona Reeves, the finest of NXT, in a matchup on the horizon. Then we get a video package hyping next week's NXT Championship match. Tommaso Ciampa and Aleister Black. What a promo. Just guys building up. Tommaso saying he's going to be NXT champ. Aleister Black saying it's not happening. And just the whole nine. It was a great hype video. And I'm looking forward to that matchup next week, which I'll get to the spoiler alert at the end of the show here, guys. Speaking of a short match this week, besides Drew Gulak on 205 Live, god dang, we had Cassius Ohno and Rick Ramirez. Ohno just comes out with the roaring elbow. That was it. Knocks him out. 1, 2, 3. You saw the viciousness in Cassius Ohno's eyes. 39 seconds. I saw this on Twitter. A couple of my peoples be talking about, Cassius Ohno. Man, turn him heel. And I'll tell you right now, put him with a big guy. You guys got Keith Lee. Put Cassius Ohno versus Keith Lee. You want Keith Lee to go to the next level? Put him in his debut match against Cassius Ohno. The dude's been making stars and just helping out the young talent. Put him with a veteran like Cassius. I think him and Keith Lee would tear it up. Let me get the Undisputed Era backstage. They talk about the gold being back where it belongs in the Undisputed Era camp. They hold the North American title, the tag titles, and Dusty's trophy, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, man. Hot dang, they got the trophies. Kyle O'Reilly says their title loss happened in Britain, so it didn't count. Then Adam Cole, baby, says Ricochet's a joke and says he'll regret angering the Undisputed Era. Then we see a War Raiders vignette runs. It goes back into their history. ICW is mentioned, Progress Wrestling, New Japan, Ring of Honor. They touch upon, Raymond Rowe's car accident that could have killed him. The motorcycle accident, that could have killed him. But, man, I'm really hyped to see more War Raiders coming up. It was a great vignette. Well done. Speaking of something that's well done, oh my goodness, the Velveteen Dream stands in front of the usual interview setup. He snaps his fingers and the lights go out. He asks for ambiance, atmosphere, and illumination. The music plays and purple smoke surrounds him. He talks about the people buzzing about what the next experience will be. He talks about war games. The world said his name. In Philadelphia, he had a knockout performance. In New Orleans, he rose to heights you couldn't imagine. In Chicago, another match of the year for the Dream. And in Brooklyn, the lights still shine brightest on him. Dream over. The man is greatness. Then we get the number one contenders match. It's Candice LeRae, it's Kairi Sane, Nikki Cross. Shayna Baszler is on commentary. Pretty much says it doesn't matter because she's still going to be on top. But god dang, these girls killed it. Arm drags, suplexes. Oh my god, the suplexes that Nikki Cross hit on Kairi Sane. We saw Kairi Sane and just doing her thing. We saw Candice LeRae doing her thing. All three women doing her thing. That swinging neckbreaker on the outside from Nikki Cross to Candice LeRae. My goodness. And then towards the end of the matchup, we see Candice comes in, small package for 2. Kairi's up top. Candice hits the unprettier and the lion saw. But here comes Kairi Sane with the insane elbow. 1, 2, 3. Kairi Sane wins in an incredible triple threat matchup that must be seen. Every one of these matches on both 205 and NXT must be seen. Kairi Sane is your number one contender. She's going to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn to take on Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. It's the rubber match. Kairi Sane won the Mae Young Classic, beating Shayna Baszler in the finals. Shayna beat her on NXT. It's the rubber match, guys. Shayna and Kairi, NXT Women's Championship on the line. Now let's get to the spoiler, because next week we got Tommaso Ciampa, we got Aleister Black, and the spoilers are out. Tommaso Ciampa is the new NXT World's Heavyweight Champion. Whew. I'm looking forward to checking out that match next week for myself. Tommaso Ciampa is your new NXT champion. Spoiler alert. It was on WWE.com, so they talked about it. We're going to see what goes on with Tommaso Ciampa, what goes on with Aleister Black, what the heck goes on with Johnny Gargano, because Johnny Gargano does not, and he said he can't be the NXT champion. But guess what, Johnny? He is. And oh man, the possibilities are endless, and I can't wait to see that matchup next week. I can't wait to talk about 205 and NXT next week. Follow us on Twitter at RWT Podcast, Facebook, YouTube, the RWT Group, Raw Wrestling Talk, Max Wrestling, S&M Show Podcast Network. Check us out. Man, shout out to everybody at the RWT family. Just Max Wrestling, which I'm on, S&M Show Podcast Network, where you can find your boy as well. RWT, shout out to Amir, everybody in the RWT family. Much love, much respect always. And guys, I'll talk to you next week. This will conclude the next installment of the NXTs and 205 reviews. That is the Futures Now. Episode 5 is next week. I'm excited. It's going to be a great week coming up. Stay tuned. Episode 5 next week. Once again, to reiterate, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. God bless y'all. I love y'all.